voice of professional wrestling.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Feast or Fired podcast. I'm Brian with my wife, Melanie. And this is going to be the August 7th, 2002 pay-per-view for TNA. And I was saying last week, excited for this one, that, I mean, that's kind of what dragged down last week, too, was like, I knew what was coming for this week because they were up to, like, this one being a really top show. So, like, kind of hurts the excitement from the one you're currently watching, and you're like, well, next week sounds great. Was I... Too bad that wasn't this week, right? I like to think I wasn't wrong either. Oh, you're not muted. Why? All right. Okay, well, I say you're not muted on my thing. Show opens. Apollo and the Dupps are waiting inside Steamboat's office. At the time, we don't know why. Obviously, they want to talk to Steamboat. We don't know what about. But besides that, we get right into the action. It looks to be a 6-man tag match, though that very loosely enforced 6-man tag match between who are called the Spanish Announce Team, which consists of Amazing Red and the Maximos, versus the Flying Elvises. And basically the story of this match was still continuing to build the Gang and Estrada are on the same page, with Siaki being like all about himself. You get that throughout this match for the most part. It opens up with a brawl between the two teams. Just everyone's fighting. It's just chaos. It takes a bit of time for it to sort itself out. So when we finally get like some one-on-one action, it's Siaki hitting his like pop-up Samoan drop on Amazing Red. For a bit, the Elvises have control of the match. Basically, all three of them at this point are in there beating up Spanish Announce Team. With them basically doing the one guy rolls in, gets beaten up, rolls out of the ring. The next member of the team rolls in, beat up by the Elvises. It looks really stupid from a logical standpoint, but obviously, like, it's fine for the match.
You're trying to figure out the best word.
I know, it's really hard. It's really hard because, like, when you put any sort of logic to it, it looks stupid. But, like, when you're in the middle of the match watching, it's exciting and fine, and there's nothing wrong with it from the spectacle standpoint. And it's far from a horrible, horrible sin in wrestling.
All I know is, like, Red Dude did, like he ran up Ego.
Yeah. After a bit of that, Siaki makes a point to basically says to the other guys with the hand motion, out of the way, I'm gonna show you how it's done, sort of thing. He does get a drop kick for his cocky attitude, though. Siaki does immediately get the momentum back and throws a red onto his teammates on the outside. After his friends do their poses, Yang and Estrada, Siaki tells them basically back off again, and this prompts Yang and Estrada to eventually get out of the ring, get off the corner, and go into commentary and bitch about Siaki being not really a team player.
They straight up put him, like, they called him out because Yang said that Siaki or X did not train him. No, they didn't have anything to do with that. I loved it.
But yeah, as they're basically talking about how they're getting fed up with his attitude, we're watching the 3-on-1 beatdown of Siaki from the Spanish Announce Team. See some really cool things, like some triple team moves. Like they got, I think it's called the Spanish Stretch. I'm not absolutely positive on the name of the move, but it's one of the Maximos. Got that thing where Siaki's face down. He grabs, he hooks his like feet behind the knees, grabs his arms back, and then he rolls onto his back. So he had that. The other one grabbed Siaki around the neck for like a dragon sleeper, and then Red jumps off the corner and does a stomp. This was basically would have been the finish if Estrada and Yang didn't run back in to break up the pin. But actually, you know what? I'm wrong. That wasn't the finish. Siaki actually does manage to make a little bit of comeback from that. But finally, there is a part where they hit like the double moonsault suplex out of the corner. Red hits his infrared finisher, and that's when they break up the pin. The Elvis get back control, where it's basically just Yang and Estrada going to town, and the Maximos and Amazing Red. Just a whole bunch of really cool spots. They put down Red. Siaki rolls back in the ring and gets the pin for basically stealing it, even though he's not the one that did anything to actually get the victory. So, still selling the whole I'm the center of attention, I'm the big guy. Though I guess all right. There is a weird dynamic here that I need to kind of point out. I can't blame Siaki in some aspects, because Estrada, from his perspective, and I can understand from the perspective of other people too, Estrada and Yang look silly. Like, they had the guy down, and instead of going for the pin, they started posing and dancing. I don't know, I guess they weren't really dancing, but they were doing like the Elvis leg shakes and shit. So, like, Siaki being like the serious one of the three gets the pin and the victory. So, like, I can understand some of the frustration there, but it's obviously still a team effort, which is why the other two are getting irritated with him. Obviously, this is going to end up with a breakup. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been building this for so long. So I don't know when it happens. I don't know how it happens. I don't know if it becomes two and a single guy. It's coming, and we'll see how that goes. Anything to add, sweetheart?
No, just there was a.
All right, we got a pre-recorded interview with Apollo and Mike Tenay. Apollo basically makes the point about how he's been undefeated, but he still feels like he's getting jumped over for opportunities at the championship. And I don't think he's necessarily wrong, but in this particular interview, he really seems like he's coming off as a heel, and I think maybe expecting him to have a heel turn here. I don't feel like we got a full heel turn in this episode, but it feels like it's going in that direction. But yeah, he says he's lost respect for Ricky Steamboat because of this. He's going to be taking matters in his with that, we come back live to the back where Steamboat comes out of his office and Apollo's right there.
Like, up in his face?
Yeah, right there up in his face, and Steamboat just basically tells him, I'll talk to you when I'm ready, and walks off with Dupp chasing him. And before we go anywhere else, we also catch Lynn and Stiles brawling in the back.
Sorry.
It's becoming normal.
I love it.
It's almost as common as watching Scott Hall get taken out on a stretcher.
Which is also, I love. I don't.
We've had it 3 times, and this is the 8th show, so I don't know. All right. Steamboat comes to the ring, followed by the Dupps. They catch up to him, and he's basically like, hey, I don't have time for this, do whatever you want. And they're like happy about that, walk away. And he turns out he's just coming out because next is the NWA World Championship title match, Ken Shamrock versus Ron the Truth Killings. And yes, they do introduce him as Ron the Truth Killings, so he is going by that full name. I will say, it overall was a decent match. It starts out with some mat wrestling from Shamrock. He's going for early submissions, and we see the desperation of the Truth basically being like freaking out almost every time he gets put in the submission, and just struggling in every way he can to get to the ropes as quickly as possible. Because the whole game with Ken Shamrock is supposed to be he's like a master of submissions. He will hurt you if he gets it on and you can't get out of it.
I was just worried. Eddie Gordo was wearing a belt and furious.
Yeah.
I was super worried. I was about to be like, no sideburns. I don't like you, but no sideburns.
Yeah. For the most part, it's a good match with a bunch of the trading of offense. Shamrock really shows his ability to turn a lot of moves into submission moves that just don't normally happen. So it was very, very fun to watch him do that. At one point, he goes for an Hurricanrana takeover. I don't know what was with this spot. So he jumps up, wraps his legs around Truth's shoulders and head, and then he falls back. And then, like it was like AJ Styles going for like the Stiles clash, he just hangs there upside down with Truth holding him. But instead of Truth doing anything, he just slowly bends over and then falls on his head. And I have no idea why they did that spot like that. I don't know if Truth's like bell was wrong and he was just out of it, and finally, eventually, like came down and realized what he needed to do or what. But usually they don't. Usually that sort of thing is just quick. I don't know why. In the middle of the match, we see the new church come out. They're standing at the top of the ramp watching, as well as Monty Brown. Don Harris also comes out and like sets himself up on the ramp to intercept. But not too long after that, Apollo just barrels through and starts attacking the Truth. And as things break down, the church comes down and starts attacking. Monty Brown comes down to try to help break it up with Don Harris. In the chaos, Apollo accidentally goes for, he goes for a super kick on the Truth, but he accidentally catches Ken Shamrock. Just as things calm back down, Truth gets Shamrock back in the ring, hits like a diamond cutter move, and pins him, and Ron the Truth Killings is the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
I just love his look at the end. Like, super fucking surprised. Like, he's like, what the hell just happened?
He does sell that he didn't expect to win.
He did. I will fully admit that. And I love the fact that he didn't have to use the belt to win.
Well, he got what he wanted now. He didn't need to he really didn't cheat. I don't recall him doing anything.
No, and like I said, I'm proud of him. Proud of Eddie Gordo.
From my understanding, this is the absolute last match until like 12 years later or something that we with Shamrock in TNA.
No.
12 years from now? I don't know if we're still doing this. But yeah, I think that a little bit of a sour taste on a note, because this was far and clear the best match Ken Shamrock has had in TNA so far. It being his last match for a decade just disappoints me. I'm fine with it too, just because of like this is the best he can do. We really didn't need to keep him around as the champion, and I expect much better matches going forward.
Oh yeah,
the Truth.
Yeah, I will give.
I don't actually know that for a fact, because as I said, I've not watched a ton of the pay-per-views from early on. I really didn't start watching until Fox Sports had their actual show, but
I will give it up to definitely does have a great.
Yeah. Also, they made a big deal about him being like the first black NWA World Champion. I mean, that's cool.
I didn't care.
I don't care about the skin color aspect. I think they pushed the idea of racism to the show. Well, no, because like it's clear the people who are getting opportunities deserve them.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't, and with Jarrett, it's like clear that he doesn't.
Honestly,
he is like. I know he tries to make it look like everyone screwed him over, but he's really screwed himself for the most part.
Oh, okay, that's not even fair to put.
What?
Because he got screwed over because of Toby Keith at first twice, and then like anytime he was wanting to do a title match, like no one gave it to him.
It's consequences for his own actions, though.
Okay, what actions did he have that said no outside of possibly kidnapping? Because I don't think
He's kidnapped multiple people. Anyways,
I don't think they ever actually tell us who kidnapped what's his.
I think it was very clear, very
All
clearly,
right,
Jarrett, but we'll get to that. All right, so the match being over now, Steamboat's in the ring. He calls Apollo back out. He basically goes down saying, I know you feel like you've been jumped over and stuff. So he says, I'm gonna give you the title shot, but of course, speak of the devil, Jeff Jarrett comes out and he's none too pleased. So yeah, they're pushing the whole now you're being racist against white people sort of angle, which
Annoys.
I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying that in this particular case, in every angle of the whole racism thing in here, it's a heel just making excuses in this instance. So it's just annoying. I think there are better ways they could have done this that didn't feel I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of racism and storylines. Just because
they also did like the racism Apollo too. Apollo's.
I guess. Yeah, he is Puerto Rican.
So like they're like, well, you didn't give it to the Spanish people. Like, okay.
Okay. Well, anyways, doesn't really matter. He books Apollo and Jarrett tonight, which I originally thought was a number 1 contender match, but we'll find out later how different. I want to skip this next segment. I really, really do. But let's just get past it real. Jive talking. Disco comes out. He notes that his set has had a downgrade from the previous week. Instead of like a legit sign and stuff, he's just got like a chalkboard that's been stuff. And then the Dupps come out. They announce the Dupp Cup because, they said they could do anything. They go over stupid freaking rules. I don't expect after tonight for this to be anything. And then they have a Dupp Cup match with Ed Ferrara. It was a huge waste of time. It went like 20 freaking minutes, and I hated it. I hated every bit of it.
Part of it was funny.
It could have been funnier if it wasn't for the... It could have been better if it wasn't for the fact that, A, this is a waste of good wrestling talent on a really bad, annoying gimmick. And instead of being, like, legitimately comical, like Crash Holly or Eddie Guerrero, they're just gross. The best comedy that has come out of the Dupps so far is Goldilocks' complete disgust for them.
Oh yeah,
and I think the only reason I find that so funny is because I'm with her on that.
I think half of us.
Half of us? There are 2 of us. That would be all of us.
That is true. I meant like half of the world.
I can't speak for anyone besides you and me.
Oh.
All right, moving on. I would like to erase that from my memory. I can't, but I would love to. All right, so we got a pre-taped interview with Monty Brown. He basically just goes over how he went from the NFL to his wrestling career and how it was basically like a natural transition for him. This basically just setting up a feud because out of nowhere, Skipper comes and hits him with a can of paint, I guess. They're both splashed in like yellow liquid. And I don't mean like Mountain Dew. I mean like it looks like yellow paint. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, we're gonna continue that feud, Skipper and Monty Brown. Skipper doesn't really say anything of major note, so we're just gonna go move on. Unless you have got something to add.
No. I didn't even
Okay,
put that in.
if there's something you wish to add, instead of waiting for me to ask, please just speak up.
I do.
Okay, I know, but like, I don't want to make it seem like I don't give you the chance to talk.
There's been plenty of times I interrupted you.
I just want to make clear that I don't intend to make it seem like
Doesn't. He's so mean to me.
All right. Match number 3 of the night. First Blood. Malice versus Don Harris.
Okay, this one really confused. And I'll let you get into it. So like,
What were you confused about?
oh,
Or do you need me to get to?
I need you to get to it so that you can. So that.
All right. I didn't
jumping
rate
ahead.
much about this match.
I didn't either because like it was super.
They just fight. Okay, they basically fight around the arena, trading weapon shots. They fight through a lot of the fighting through the crowd is lost in the mix because their camera angles are just bad, so we don't even see them past the crowd.
Yeah, like at one point in time, that's what I was. At one point in time, like, see Malice on the ground, and then like the next shot, it's reversed. Like I don't know what happened. I don't know who got hit or why or how. And
As I said, it's
I did not like this.
It was bad camera angles, and the camera's not keeping up with the action. They were proud. At some point, Slash interjects and pulls out I don't know, a shank. I don't know. It was something for stabbing.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not 100%.
But Don Harris blocks him, turns it on him, uses it to bust Slash open. Eventually, they fight their way back to the ring. I mean, James Mitchell tries to interject, but for his troubles, he gets the arc thing dumped all over him, so now he's covered in that lamb blood.
Sorry.
And then then the finish comes, and I don't know what happened. Don Harris like hits like what is the move? Tilt-a-whirl slam. When Abyss does it, it's called the Black Hole Slam. So you'll see that later. But like he does that, and then Harris is bleeding, and I don't know what happened. This match was just so poorly choreographed and tracked. I lost track of so much of it.
Oh, I did too.
It wasn't. It was. I mean, it was better than watching the Dupps.
Anything.
But hey, Malice won a match.
Yeah.
I think it might be his first one.
It is.
And for someone who has consistently been like the #1 contender for a bit, that's pretty impressive. In a bad way. All right, to the back. Siaki is back there looking for Ricky for some reason. We never really actually get an answer to that, do we?
I'm sorry, who was it?
Sonny Siaki.
No, we don't.
Yeah. So yeah, after he walks away, we get Bruce taking the mic to gloat at Taylor Vaught about, getting her stuff, and she demands a match. That's set up now. And then we see Loki and Stiles are fighting each other in the back. Don't know how they switched. I don't know where Lynn went, but that's happening. All right, match number 4. For the most part, the worst parts are done of the night.
Did you actually count this one as the 4th match? Because I didn't.
All right. Wait. What match do you have listed as next?
The Bro lookalike and Rainbow Shore. Wait, no, that's next. Yeah.
No. Right now it's Jarrett and Apollo.
Oh, I thought. Okay. No,
Yeah, Vaught and Bruce is after this.
Oh, is it? I thought it was before.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right. So, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention Ricky Steamboat made himself the special guest referee. So, basically, the match is really, really, really close back and forth contest with Ricky Steamboat interjecting himself as being a really strict rules enforcer. Won't let have close shots. He'll pull him out of the corner if they got him held like wrong way or something. He's being really, really strict. But he's doing it to both. I'm sorry. He's doing it to both guys.
Yeah, it's not just one.
And both guys are taking advantage it throughout the match. So it for the most part is just a decent back and forth contest. They're both displaying their basic arsenal of moves, but at some point, we get Apollo busted open, but that doesn't really change the momentum of the match. After a super kick, Jarrett gets his legs on the rope for a kick out instead of that. And then the finish finally comes. There's a German suplex into a bridge pin. But, all right, I have to explain this because if you don't know what happened, and I'm assuming the people in the audience probably really confused by this. If you don't know what happened, it looks like Steamboat screwed over Apollo. But here's the idea of what they were trying to do. And I don't think it was a good idea because it's really poor.
This is what I got confused.
So he does the German suplex pin. But the idea here is that both Apollo and Jarrett's shoulders are down. And since they're connected, sort of, or whatever, how you want to say it, Steamboat is counting it as a double pin. All right, so him doing that during the count, before the third count, Jarrett gets his shoulder up, but Apollo's are still on the mat, so when he gets 3, Apollo's the one that's pinned, and Jarrett wins. Apollo, obviously feeling screwed and upset over this, has to be escorted away by security. And then this is when we learn that, no, it wasn't a number 1 contenders match. What he had said was that he would give Jeff Jarrett the truth. So, by this play on words, he is making Jeff Jarrett and R-Truth, Ron, the Truth killing, just the Truth. They are going to be tag team partners on next week's show, challenging Stiles and Lynn for the World Tag Team titles. At least it's a title opportunity, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, at least there's an opportunity for a title opposed to not getting it.
By the way, yes, I do have this written as match 5. Otherwise, there's only 5 matches on this card. Unless you wanted to count. I mean, 7. I guess it's 7 if you count the Dupp Cup.
I just normally don't count anything.
I probably shouldn't have counted this either. They had like entrances and everything. So
that's why I was super surprised. I'm like,
but Taylor Vaught versus Bruce, I don't really care. Bruce is in a dress and a wig. It was an even gown match, and they play up the whole "I'm gay and women are icky" thing. And then afterwards, he does a striptease. Really, all I have to say about that.
yeah,
I don't care.
neither do I.
It's just it's a comedy bit that I think is a waste of time. All right, main event time. X Division title match. Triple threat. Jerry Lynn versus AJ Styles versus Loki. Obviously the best match of the night. Because what else would be the best match of the night? All right. So the first thing that happens is Lynn and Loki lock up, and Styles just kind of stands there, like watching Glee. Like, okay, you two fight each other. This quickly turns into those two realizing what's going on, and Styles gets a like double punch to the face for his troubles.
Yeah, oh, never mind.
I have basically a whole bunch of moves and stuff that happen in there listed. It's just basically the highlights of the match. Loki does a really cool reverse whip to a drop kick and they knock Lynn's feet out from under him. And then we have Lynn and Styles combating for a while. While they're locked up in like a German suplex maneuver, Loki comes running at, and they both back body drop Loki. With Lynn having AJ Styles in the gory special. Loki hits a dropkick on Lynn to gain control over the match for a bit. At this point, I noticed that the crowd was chanting Loki. They were really behind Loki.
I was not.
Yeah, he's got a lot of support at this point in time. That's fine, but the crowd loves him. I like him.
I wanted Udo.
Stiles gets his jump off his back head scissors thing in, and then basically hits like the GTS on Loki. I know you don't know what that is.
Nope.
It's like a fireman carry, and then he drops them over and then like his face on their face onto his knee.
All I know is I got super because at one point Littles and had Stylist and was like about to get the third one, and then Loki like kicked him off, and I didn't understand. In all honesty, for some odd reason, I thought it was like if you pin one, then that was my.
You thought this was elimination. It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's triple threat, first pin victory. Anyone pinning or submitting.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I don't know why I didn't that it was.
All right, well, knowledge for the future. Lynn goes after Stiles. He grabs the ref to hit a low blow, and I don't know why he's distracting the ref to cheat. And I always understood triple threat matches were immediately no DQ. I guess maybe it's different WA. Lynn reverses the power bomb for a pin, which Loki stops the pin, gets control back for a bit. We get a bunch of three-way mayhem where basically everyone's just hit and move. It was pretty cool. A lot of intense action. We get a knife edge chop duel between which he eventually wins. Stiles returning the match, but Loki still maintaining control, puts a dragon sleeper on Stiles. Lynn then tries to get his hands on Loki, but he puts Lynn into the dragon sleeper as well. After that, Stiles and Lynn tie up for a while. There's some more close falls and other. It was a really, really high energy, awesome match. They were doing a really good job with near falls, building the thing. We get that power bomb. We get like the power bomb suplex spot out of the corner. All three of them. But for whatever reason, because it was, I think, Stiles in the corner, Loki was going to do the superplex on him, and then Lynn going over there, he like jumps on the ropes, springs off, flips over to do almost like he was going for like a sunset flip, but he had to do like a midair spin. It was after that there's a exchange of pins and reversals into more pins. It was a fun exchange, three of them for a bit. Afterwards, Stiles gets hung in the corner by both of them. Then Loki puts the hanging dragon sleeper on him until Lynn breaks it up. Of course, though, Loki being awesome and liking to put the sleeper on people, gets Lynn into the ropes and then gets him hanging in the ropes to do a dragon sleeper. It's stuck in there. Then we get a line of stolen finishers. Loki hitting the Stiles Clash on Stiles. Stiles manages to kick out. Lynn hits the Key Crusher on Loki. Loki kicks out. Stiles hits the Cradle Pile Driver on Lynn. It was a parade of stolen finishes, and it was cool. As long as they don't do it too often, it's a fun thing to do. We do get a point where Loki actually knocks out the ref. Stiles goes for the chair, used on Lynn. And he does actually use it on Lynn. He knocks Lynn out, and then Stiles actually goes to hit his spiral tap. But in the meantime, Loki crawls in to pin Lynn, who was knocked out with the chair. We get to the 2 count. Stiles hits his spiral taps, and this is the second finish tonight where it's like really confusing if you don't know what they were trying to do, and still not great because it's confusing. But he hits the spiral tap, but because Loki never actually got off Lynn and Lynn never raised his shoulders, the ref still counts the third count even after the move, making Loki the new X Division champion. All right. Last part of the show, we get Lynn and Stiles fighting each other, and we also see in the back Truth and Garrett fighting. But yeah, that's the end of the show. Overall, I thought it was really good.
Outside of the fucking ups, which
Honestly, this is probably my favorite show so far. So easy feast for me.
I guess I'll give it I like it better than I.
All right, well, that sounds good. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.